Imagine doing something so incredibly illegal on a football pitch that an entire nation wants you arrested, and then, literally 4 minutes later, doing something so breathtakingly beautiful that the exact same people want to build a statue of you. On June 22, 1986, at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, Diego Armando Maradona did exactly that. 114,000 screaming fans in the stadium. Millions watching at home. A high-stakes World Cup quarterfinal between Argentina and England. What happened next wasn't just a goal. It was a heist. A geopolitical revenge story. And arguably the biggest refereeing blunder in sports history. Nearly 4 decades later, football fans are still split. Was it the ultimate display of street-smart genius? Or was it pure, unadulterated cheating? This is the full, chaotic story of Maradona's infamous Hand of God. To understand why this match felt like a powder keg, you have to look outside the stadium. Just 4 years earlier, in 1982, Argentina and Great Britain fought a brief but bloody conflict over the Falkland Islands, known in Argentina as Las Malvinas. Argentina lost the war, and hundreds of young Argentine soldiers lost their lives. The emotional wounds were wide open. Before the match, both teams gave polite corporate answers to the press, saying it was just a game and politics didn't matter. But years later, Maradona admitted the truth in his autobiography. He wrote, "It was a battle, yes, but on my battlefield. We were defending our flag, the dead kids, the survivors. This wasn't a standard quarterfinal. This was war in short shorts and long socks." The first half was a tense, brutal, scoreless chess match. Both teams were terrified of making a mistake. But 5 minutes into the second half, the chess match turned into theater. Maradona picks up the ball in the center, cuts past 2 English midfielders, and tries to slip a pass to his teammate, Jorge Valdano. But English defender Steve Hodge intercepts it. Hodge tries to clear it, but he slices it completely wrong. The ball loops high, backward, right into the English penalty box. Look at the physics here. England goalkeeper Peter Shilton is 6'1". Diego Maradona is 5'5". Shilton is nearly a foot taller when you factor in arm reach. He's coming out to punch the ball away. Maradona has absolutely no business winning this aerial duel, unless he finds a shortcut. As they collide in mid-air, Maradona raises his left fist, tucked right next to his head, and subtly flicks the ball over the massive goalkeeper. The ball trickles into the empty net. Immediately, England players are beside themselves. They are screaming for a handball. But look at Maradona. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look guilty. He just turns around and starts running toward the corner flag to celebrate. But there was a problem. His teammates weren't running to celebrate with him because they all knew he just used his hand. Maradona later admitted that he looked back at his midfielders and yelled, "Come hug me, or the referee won't give it." Midfielder Sergio Batista walked over slowly and whispered, "Did you use your hand?" Maradona snapped back, "Shut up and keep celebrating." So, how on earth did the officials miss this in front of 100,000 people? Remember, this is 1986. No VAR, no high-definition goal line cameras, no instant replays on the big screens. The referee, Ali bin Nasser from Tunisia, later explained that he couldn't see the contact clearly because Shilton and Maradona's backs were partially turned to him. He looked over at his linesman, Bogdan Dochev of Bulgaria. Dochev didn't raise his flag. Because FIFA rules at the time dictated that linesmen shouldn't volunteer information unless explicitly asked, both men essentially looked at each other, waited for the other to make a call, and eventually just let the goal stand. England was devastated. Argentina was up 1-0. In the post-match press conference, a cheeky Maradona gave the moment its legendary name. He told reporters the goal was scored, a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. It was the ultimate troll. But if the story ended right here, Maradona might just be remembered as a very famous, very successful cheat. But what happened exactly 4 minutes later changed everything. Just 4 minutes after committing football's greatest crime, Maradona decides to produce its greatest masterpiece. He receives the ball deep in his own half, spins elegantly away from 2 English players, and begins a 60-yard sprint that would go down in history. He passes Peter Beardsley. He skips past Peter Reid. He glides past Terry Butcher. He's moving at an unbelievable speed, yet the ball looks completely glued to his left foot. He enters the box, leaves Terry Fenwick in his wake, fakes out goalkeeper Peter Shilton to send him to the grass, and slides the ball into the net while being tackled from behind. It took just 11 seconds and 11 touches to score what was later voted the official FIFA World Cup goal of the century. In 4 minutes, Maradona went from the devil to a god. Argentina went on to win the match 2-1 and eventually lifted the 1986 World Cup trophy. To the English, the hand of God remains a bitter pill to swallow. Peter Shilton refused to speak to Maradona for the rest of his life, angry that the Argentine genius never properly apologized for cheating. But to Argentines, those 2 goals represented the duality of Diego Maradona. He was the street kid from the slums of Villa Fiorito. He didn't play by the rules of the elite because the world's rules had never favored him. To them, the handball wasn't cheating, it was viveza creola, native cunning. It was outsmarting an empire that had wronged them. So what's your take? Does the goal of the century completely erase the sin of the hand of God? Or will Maradona always be a cheat in your book? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into football history, and we'll see you next time.